the ASEAN agenda should support this
I think the main challenge is that the present geopolitical situation is very, very fragile and very challenging. So culture usually takes a sort of a second step back, and that it becomes very difficult to motivate funding and to motivate exchanges. That said, it's also because of the current situation, it's also a very important moment and an opportunity for cultural exchanges to be strengthened. So I see the challenge, but I see also the opportunity of continuously trying to motivate organizations to work together to support international cultural cooperation. So the Culture Department works around 4 pillars. One is to support the art sector in providing information and access to information. And we do this through one program called Culture 360, which is a website. The other pillar is about capacity building for the cultural sector. And this is also done either through Culture 360, but also through ASEF Link Up, which is a workshop that brings together independent art sector and government sector to sort of work together, discuss challenges that they face in international cultural cooperation. And the third and fourth pillar are related to showcasing, but also supporting artistic exchanges. And this is done through the Asia-Europe Cultural Festival, which is our program that is more catering to artists to work together. So it kind of covers both the capacity and support development of new projects through arts residency programs that we support through the festival. And then we support also shows that are already existing. So this is a project that is very dear to me because I joined ASEF 16 years ago, and this project actually started back then. It was initially initiated by ASEM, by the Asia-Europe meeting countries, which really felt that we needed to provide a platform for arts community to really find information in only one place and to kind of have access to information easily. It has, of course, as you can imagine, in the years evolved. What is really, I think, important is that because it's been there for so long, it's actually now quite a reference point for artists as target groups. You were asking artists, but also academics, journalists, arts organization, network, anyone working in the arts sector, but also working in connection with other sectors, because we try also to find ways to reach outside of the art sector by exploring topics or trends that have to do, for example, with culture and climate or culture and social issues, communities. Yeah, so this year we're really, really excited to work for the first time in China for the festival. As I mentioned before, we are looking at the new type of model of partnership for the Asia-Europe Cultural Festival, which is to present our festival in the festival. So we partnered this year with the Shanghai Dramatic Arts Center, which has a festival of their own, and we present our festival as a focus Asia-Europe within their festival. This has been, I think, a very good, very successful model because it allows us to work in collaboration with another institution that has already an infrastructure and a presence in Shanghai. In terms of the program, we are presenting 5 events this year. 4 events are with the Shanghai Dramatic Arts Center, and 1 is actually a film screening with the Cervantes Institute in Shanghai, which was also very well received. It was 2 weeks ago. So the program will end early October, and then the festival will have this closing event in Singapore and in Laos this year until mid-October. I think for this, I would mention that ASEF has always worked at the conjunction with governments and civil society, so trying to play that role of intermediary to make the connection stronger, because we feel that there's a lot of activities that happen internationally, but as I mentioned before, also a lot of threat in terms of geopolitical instability at the moment. So programs like the one we developed that are multilateral, that involve different partners from different diverse also kind of institutions, so independent, government-supported Institute of Culture is really where we feel that we can provide sustainable, long-term opportunities for the art sector to develop, but also where we can create better understanding between government and civil society, which is something that sometimes when we work internationally is not always the case. And I think one program that we've developed since 2023 is ASEF Link Up, the Asia-Europe Cultural Diplomacy Lab, which I think is becoming now an interesting model also of how this kind of connection can happen. We bring together a small group of government and non-government people working in cultural diplomacy internationally, and we give them a space to really exchange openly what challenges they face, how they can work better together without any transactional aspect to it, without telling them, oh, you have to produce something at the end. And I think this is something that is becoming quite an interesting model. At the end of each edition, we also create what we call a community of practice, where this group of people actually become a group of people that can rely on each other, and they're still very much connected throughout their work. So I think two things that are really important. One is to really explore how international cultural cooperation can be developed better by creating better understanding, and one is to really create capacity also for the sector. So this report is the result of the third encounter of ASEF Link Up, which happened this year in June in Yogyakarta in Indonesia. And this program has brought together this year 17 participants from Institute of Cultures, from organizations, from networks, from museums, to discuss the topic of inclusion in international cultural cooperation and representation. So as a result of this meeting, the group, as a group, has basically come up with this report, which we decided to call a field book, because we want to basically keep the same kind of structure every year, but change with each iteration the content inside. I think we're really very, very happy to have had a collaboration with Casa Asia for many years, because what is usually challenging so one step back maybe is that Casa Asia director is the governor of ASEF for Spain, which is a great connection for us to have. ASEF has a governor for each country that is part of the organization, so we have 53 governors. But with the Casa Asia, because it's so much already strongly interested in culture, for us working in culture in ASEF, it's been really a very strong connection and a very strong relationship. So we've done many projects together. We've developed the festival program back in 2019. We've done some residency program with Casa Asia over the COVID years. Hybrid residency, I think 2 or 3 we did. Then we did the first edition of ASEF Link Up in Singapore, also in collaboration with Casa Asia. And then this talk that we're going to have today, which is also part of a series of conversations. So I think to have the possibility of having the connection both with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Spain, but also with an institution that really strongly focuses on culture is the ideal scenario. With other countries, we are not as lucky because the relationship is with the MFA, and sometimes MFA don't really understand what it means to work in the cultural sector. So there's this kind of double challenge in a way to work with ministries of foreign affairs, but also with people who really understand culture, really understand the value, the central role that culture has in international cultural relations, and not just, other things that usually are more part of the nature and the work that ASEF does. Because let's not forget, the Asia-Europe Foundation is an organization that works in many areas. It's not an arts and culture institution. And that also, for us internally, is always a bit of a challenge in terms of bringing forward the programs of culture versus program done in human rights, sustainability, governance, and so on. So I think we are very privileged to work with Casa Asia and with Spain in this, and I hope it will continue, because it's been really a very, very good relationship so far.